Missouri has just passed a state law that claims life begins at conception. And the reason why this is important is because it makes getting an abortion even more difficult for women in the state. Remember, we talked about Missouri before and how there's only one abortion clinic in the entire state, and women have to drive up to 100 miles just to get to it. And then they have to get counseling, and they have doctors who try to convince them not to get the abortion. Then they have to go home and think about it, and then if they decide to get the abortion, they come back. Well, this is going to make abortion laws even more strict in the state. What's going to happen now is doctors have to give women who are thinking about getting abortions a pamphlet, and the pamphlet will have to say, the life of each human being begins at conception. Abortion will terminate the life of a separate, unique, living human being.
Well, here's what they're not. Separate. That I don't think you could really have an argument about that, can you? If they were separate, they wouldn't be inside your body. Okay. Now, I say this from experience because I used to be pro-life. Did you guys know that?
No, I didn't.
All right. So way, way, way back in the day, I was pro-life. And the reason for that was because I said, look, scientifically, logically, there's a place where life begins. And it is at conception, right? Because it doesn't begin at like 2.5 months in.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. There is a beginning. It's, you know, at conception. So I was like, well, logically then, it is a life. And if it is a life, then, you know, then we can't terminate it, right? So I totally get that logic. Here's where they're wrong, okay? And what I later realized. It is not an independent life. You can't take it outside the woman and say, all right, go. Okay, here's what okay, gone. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, but so it's not a separate life. So that's why the woman gets to make a choice. It's her choice. Do you want to carry that fetus to term, right? Or do you not want to carry it? Now, if the pro-life folks could find a way to zap it out of your body and then grow it somewhere else, all right, then I think we have a different conversation, right? But at this point, it's a dependent life, and the person it's dependent on gets to make that choice. Now, here, they're trying to intimidate them, obviously.
Of course, right.
By saying this and scare them and to try to make sure that they don't get the abortion. But if they really believe that life began at conception and they really made that legal, well, then obviously all abortion would be illegal. But they can't do that because of the Supreme Court, so they're trying to find a way around it. And my guess is if it goes to the Supreme Court and they respect precedent, they will say, this is too much. You're obviously trying to get around our precedent, and you're trying to take away women's effective right to choose.